Today I'm going to change the date wheel in this Catorex watch, which has a ETA 2783 movement in it. And this was a watch that I got just as part of a collection, a lot of used watch parts. And it was missing a hour hand gear, which I replaced it in a previous video with another spare part, but the date dial was the wrong date dial, so it had a 2783 movement in it, but with this wrong date dial. So on eBay I bought a new date dial from a seller who happens to be right here in Geneva, very close to where I am. But I'm going to swap that out. And then the other thing about this watch is that I put these hands on it. I kind of like the, they're overly, like probably this dial would have been paired with some hands that were kind of short and that didn't overreach the indices like this. But I think it can work. The problem right now is that the second hand is getting caught up on the minute hand when the minute hand is on this side of the dial. So if I mess with it a little bit, you'll see it's actually, see now it's free to go. Another 60 seconds anyway. But that's all kind of manageable just by flexing the hands a little bit. And I kind of prefer that the long hands to, like, short hands just look weird. But this does have very high indices, and that's why it probably would have been paired with short hands. Yeah, so that's the plan. And the tools I'm going to use, I have like a little movement holder. Oh, there were some dial spacers I forgot to put in it when I assembled it the last time, so I'll put those in there. I have the spring bar remover to remove the strap, some screwdrivers and tweezers, and hand lifters. Presto tool to hand lift if I want to use that, and a rubber ball to open the case back. I think that's pretty much all that's going to be needed for this. If not, I'll grab it out of my kit. I just wanted to see that time it made it over it. So it's a very subtle thing, the second hand bumping into that minute hand. Nevertheless, it needs to be adjusted. Oh, so the other thing is I need to wear finger cots. I'm going to cut the putting on the finger cots out of the video to spare you that time. But I will tell you, I've come up with this system because I did not like wearing finger cots. And I was not wearing them in the previous videos because they were strangling my finger. And the solution to that is just to cut it after you put it on. Just have to be careful not to cut your skin. Okay, that wasn't so bad. As it's been for the last month, it's like crazy hot over here in Switzerland. The case back's already loose, but I should take the strap off. The idea behind my channel is that there's always somebody who knows more than you, and there's always somebody who knows less than you, no matter where you are at any stage in learning something. So for me, I try to make videos that would have been interesting to me just before I am wherever I am at any given time. So it's not that difficult to learn watchmaking. So I'm progressing, and then I'm trying to think about what I've just recently learned that I can share. So sometimes I'm going to obviously make mistakes and say, like I'm not always aligned with best practices or whatever. But I see something here. I put this rubber gasket on that case back and it failed. The reason it failed is because it needs to be lubricated so it doesn't bind, and it probably didn't have enough lubrication the last time I screwed this shut. Anyway, I think it's interesting to try to teach everything I'm learning as I go, because if you look at, like, there are some people like Roger Smith is this great watchmaker in the Isle of Man, who's one of the greatest living watchmakers. You could watch videos about how he makes watches, but you would never enter the process as a result of that. Maybe you would be inspired by it, but there's so much to learn before you can be on that level. So the idea behind what I'm doing is that for certain people, it should be, I hope it encourages them to, in addition to maybe being interested in watches and watchmaking videos, to actually open a watch and mess around with it themselves, because they can see me doing it somewhat successfully. And now I need to focus a little bit. One of the reasons I wanted to do this now with this particular watch is because it's been a couple weeks since I worked on it, and if I don't keep working on it, I can easily forget where I was. So once I get the hands off, I can put that kind of dial down on that case cushion, and then I can remove this ring that the movement is in. I guess I should get oh, so the 2783 has these hooks for the dial. So to remove the dial, you pull out on this hook, and it relieves the pressure on that little pin right there. Now, when this dial comes off, yikes. So to change the date wheel, we're gonna remove this. I think I can get away just with removing this plate. Two screws. So I think this is enough for me to be able to lift the date wheel, slide it, probably not best practice. Yeah, I think I should take the other side off too. This is just a pain because the date clicker is under there. There's a spring under there that is hard to get back. It's not that hard. And the other thing is, I want to try to use the right screwdriver. Oh, I should have the movement off the cushion now and in the movement holder. I should take the rotor off before I do that. Oh wait, I guess I got some movement on the ring. That was a shortcut. Mishandling it worked to my advantage so far. Okay, I have to remember these things this time. So it's interesting, I might be able to loosen this a bit more and then lift this plate, yeah, just enough. So the spring didn't escape, but I got the date wheel. Just got to make sure that it's not in the right position. So there. Okay, so that, I don't know if you saw that because I did it kind of quickly, but let me just make sure we're in super focus. So the trick there was to slide these tiny teeth under this plate where there's a spring-loaded date jumper, which forces it to jump from one date to the other because of the spring under here. And then drop these same teeth down around the outside of this main plate, and prepare in the process to be able to drop this plate back down on this side, and that will hold it down. So the only thing I want to do was just tighten this. I shouldn't be doing this with the rotor on the back, but I am, because I made the mistake of not taking the rotor off in the first place. Is that right? So I don't know. Yeah, it is. This goes like this. One thing that's kind of fun about watchmaking is to pretend in your mind like you're working on something really special, no matter what you're working on. Now I'm making myself like nervous just by saying that. But anyway, this was all stuff that I bought that I didn't even know, worked or what it was. I didn't know there was movements inside the watches I bought in this, lot of watch parts. So to treat it like it's a Patek Philippe or something is funny. I may tighten these some more once I get the movement kind of in the ring, movement ring again, because I can't though. So I'm going to do something unorthodox, but I've seen people do it before. I'm just going to hold the movement. Just wanted to put enough torque on those gears that they don't pop off. Now the other thing is, this washer bugs me. Let's how to approach this exactly, I don't know. What I want to do is add some flex back to this washer, because this is the washer that holds this gear down by pressing up against the back of the face of the dial. But if it's got no spring to it, it's not going to do that. I'm having the left-handed, not being left-handed problem. So that helped. It's a little something. Okay, and then these things, oh, there's one in there. That's cool. I was missing one. So you can see actually there's one already in this. So this goes back, and there's I have another 2783 movement that was missing that. Okay. Yeah, nice. The date is aligned. Now, do I want to? Yeah, I want to catch the. Okay, so now we need to get it back in the. This is going a little bit too easily. I'm suspicious. Actually, part of it is, as ETA modernized these movements, like this one is from, I believe, 1974 or something like that. So, like, with each generation, or actually, yeah, I think that's right. With each generation, they just got a little bit easier to work with. I guess in some cases they got more complicated, so they actually got more. Parts of them are more difficult to work with because they, for example, the quick date mechanism over the course of the evolution, it obviously takes a bit more mechanical things have to happen to do quick date. So there was also kind of natural complication of some things, but I'm sure they got feedback from watchmakers over the years, and so they also, people were like, why don't you do this other way, so it's easier for watchmakers. Okay, so now the problem is the hands at 12 o'clock. And then the thing I mentioned about okay, so to figure this out, I want to go, I pull this, let's see. Pull it into setting mode, and then I'm going to go forward. Can I see? I think that's not the right setting. Oh yeah, I have to go all the way out. Sorry. I'm just having a hard time seeing if the hour wheel is moving. So it was moving, I just couldn't see it. But the point is I need to see where midnight is. And it's going to be randomly somewhere. That's why I'm going slowly. Can't be too much further. Or something's not put together correctly. Crap. Ah, that sucks. Okay, so that's a drag. What did I do wrong? See, that's why I said it was going too easily, right? Well, anyway, that's kind of the end of the video because now I'm just going to repeat what I just did. You can just turn it off or you can skip ahead to see that I succeed at the end. But, or, you know, there's some fault in what I did that I have to figure out right now. So, you can stick around to see what it is. I like this feeling of doing something enough times, though, that it becomes that's part of like, even when you constantly make mistakes, you're just getting better, more comfortable with the processes. I don't like doing that. Oh, you know what? Let's take the rotor off this time. What I'm trying to do is just make sure that the case clamp is actually clamping on something solid. Jeez. Okay, now, oh, damn it. The thing is, I need to have 3 o'clock. I need to be able to put the crown in there so I can see what's going wrong. Okay, there's winding. There's quick date. Setting. Oh wait, the date, yeah, the date still has to turn even though a quick date's working. Okay, so I see what it is. It's my spring under here is not. That was. I'm not positive about this, but man. I'm pretty sure that when I did that trick of just loosening this plate, the spring got out of whack. Okay, so actually I fixed it. So I'll go around again and just make sure it's working. I can kind of see the hour. So this is like noon. The next time around it should go. And I'm looking at this little bit right there. So this time it should pull it around now. Let's just try to notice if the date changes. It happens so fast, it's hard to see. No, it failed again. So it does have to do with this. I'm 90% sure. I'd like you to see the fault when I lift this off. But if I'm not careful, everything will be a mess. Oh, I think I might have put that spring in backwards too. Okay, so I don't know how to avoid a disaster here. This is the spring. This is the jumper. I think that's correct, but the way to check it is just put it back on again. And okay, so this is cool too. This little gear, I should get the microscope going, but this little gear slides on this movement. Should get it with Rodico maybe. Oh, so hard. Now it's upside down. try. That is some tricky. That's some tricky stuff right there. That's how it all goes. Could be something slightly wrong again. Now try this again. Something weird is going on. That's winding. That's quick set. That's crap. So now I did something wrong with this gear. And that's like not good. Ugh. My childish tantrum gesture has got to go. I should have removed that. I think that that's going to correct that, but I'm going to look at this under a microscope because that's why I have the microscope now. Because I did kind of tighten that screw and oh, that just defeated the purpose of finger cuts. Okay. So what I felt when I was grinding away and it wasn't working because that gear was trapped incorrectly, I felt some damage to the gear. So I want to look at that and see if how bad it looks, basically. So you can see there's some damage to that gear right there. I'm just trying to see if it's, I'm guessing I'm not sure what the proper fix would be for that. I think that kind of deburring it is an idea. It's not terribly burred, but basically that's funny. That's like plastic. I think that'll survive. Again, it's fun to imagine if it was a Patek. And you're like, oops. We can watch it go around. Okay, now let's see, can we also watch the date through the microscope? See, the pressure is building. Did it go already? I don't think so. The pressure is building in this spring right here. As I turn this, you see that's not moving, but it's building pressure and then it'll snap. There it goes, it's about to go. And there it snapped. So now we can go another. That's why I was trying to get this in the movement holder in a nice way. But I think it's ready. I think it's assembled correctly now. So let's just put it back together. Okay, so I know what happened here. These levers are nice, convenient, but when you're handling the movement, they are very easy to push in. So then you have to pull them back out. Quick set. Okay, there it went. I just wanted to do it quickly to know that it's it's not stupid to put it back together again. Now, okay, so now the crown again. Let me see something. Yeah. Crown, hands. Quick set. Date. Now, I think it's close to midnight because it just went. Just want to put it very lightly there so I can see it move. and then go around twice. That's not bad. One thing I forgot to pull out as a tool I need is these hand press tools. Okay, now I can go around again. Just want to look at one thing, which is 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's good. Now, if we can get the second hand so it doesn't have a problem. That's almost like I just gotta gently nudge it. That's another way to do it. I'm surprised that was a success. But just like use enough radical force to get it to grab. Now we can watch and see if it gets caught up. It's pretty clear to me it is. The second hand is going to get caught up on the minute hand. But we'll wait and see that happen and then solve it. Because it's important to see by how much. And also, is the solution is kind of in the combination. If you go too far down with the minute hand, it's going to hit the indices. And if you go too far up with the second hand, it's going to hit the crystal. Okay, I'm going to give that a shot. Now the only problem is I have to put the rotor back on with the hands on it, which could be a mistake. So that's another thing where I'm just going to end up hand holding it. I think that's good. Looking for any kind of dust or anything that I might see later and wish I'd already taken off. Okay, so now the stem has to come out again. So the other thing we'll have to make sure is that the second hand is not hitting. I see something that could be dust inside there. Could be a little scratch on the front too. Okay. Now, as long as we're, how'd that get upside down? As long as we're doing this, which might be the final casing, it's interesting to make sure the crown is a little bit waterproof. And then that's going to go in the case back, but first I need to try to figure out a new gasket. $33. Way too small. These were kind of spare gaskets I pulled out and then just put them in here. Probably have a 33 in here. There may even be the original hard plastic. So I want something 33 and thin. I think that's going to do it. Is that square? This is square, which I don't think is the best one for this, but I'm going to try it anyway. Because I got to see how it actually fits anyway. It's a little bit too small. This one is round and it's a better size, but maybe that's good actually. Yeah, let's try this. I see there's actually a groove in there for either a round or square one in the case, because the case is almost like a compressor case. Problem is, for this to fit in there, it's got to be almost like the exact right size, which it kind of looks like it is, give or take. The problem is there can be no give or take. So it's looking a little bit small. So then I can try stretching it around this. And what should happen is that when this is screwed on, it'll actually press it into that. The problem is it's not even catching because the rubber is not getting out of the way. Oh, I also forgot that. Anyway, that's an opportunity. Forgetting that is an opportunity to double check what happened here. So that spring holds the movement ring from bouncing around. it lays on that. Okay, that is what I didn't want to have happen. See, the rubber gasket is kind of... I'm going to have to put some more grease on it. I think this can work, honestly. It's just... Is that staying? Kind of. So I got the movement ring in there. Or that spring. Now with everything sandwiched in there properly, the only problem is I have to use enough pressure to get the threads to catch so that they will push that O-ring into just not catching. I'm reluctant to use anything other than the ball on this because the case is like new old stock and I don't really want to scratch it with a tool. Case back is not on tight enough because the rubber gasket's too thick. But anyway, that's like a small fix. I don't need to just keep going on and on with this. I need to probably find a proper gasket, a thinner gasket that's the right size that'll drop into the groove that's made for it there. So anyway, that's great. That watch is basically fixed aside from the gasket thing. So sorry for so long, and thanks for watching if you watched any part of this, and I'll see you on the next one.